trying to sort through the essentials of a complex topic can feel like, well, a real challenge, right?
Yeah, it definitely can.
That's where we come in. We sift through the details to bring you the core insights, the stuff that sticks.
Exactly. We've done the deep reading and analysis so you can get up to speed quickly and, understand what truly matters.
Today, we're diving deep into the world of aviation timekeeping, specifically the fascinating story of Zulu time.
And the release of the rather handsome Longines Spirit Zulu Time 1925 edition.
Right. Now, Longines and aviation, they go way
Oh,
back.
no, absolutely.
We're talking about a legacy with names like Weems, Lindbergh, even the Majetek. Their history in the skies is seriously impressive.
It truly is a remarkable heritage. For decades, Longines has been, instrumental in helping pilots stay coordinated and on schedule.
So our mission today is kind of twofold. First, we want to understand the evolution of this Zulu time concept, why it's so significant.
Yeah.
And second, we're going to get a close look at the features and what makes this new commemorative watch from Longines tick, both literally and figuratively.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, let's get into it. Where did this whole idea of needing multiple time zones even start? I mean, for watches specifically.
Well, the challenge of tracking time across different locations is actually quite an old one. And Longines, they recognized its importance very early on.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Way back in 1908, believe it or not. They created this really ingenious pocket watch.
A pocket watch.
Yeah, and it displayed 2 time zones simultaneously on a single dial.
Wow.
And this wasn't just like a simple subdial. It had 2 separate sets of hour and minute hands.
2 sets of hands on one dial.
Exactly. It was
Right.
specifically designed to make the conversion between Turkish and Western European time straightforward.
That's pretty clever for 1908.
For its time, it was a very forward-thinking solution. This early innovation, it wasn't just a technical feat. It really highlights a fundamental shift in, global interaction and the increasing need for coordinated time.
Okay, so that was 1908. You also mentioned the Weems watch from Longines earlier.
Yes, the Longines Weems watch.
Yeah.
They came out in 1930, and it really built on that idea.
How so?
It also featured independently adjustable hands, allowing for the indication of 2 different time zones with a high degree of accuracy.
So they kept working on it.
These early examples really demonstrate Longines' early commitment to addressing the practical timekeeping needs of, an increasingly connected world.
So this wasn't just a one-off experiment then. It sounds like they were actively pursuing these solutions. Building on these early pocket watches, it's clear Longines was really exploring practical ways to track time across distances.
Precisely. The innovation just kept evolving. In 1931, they developed a 24-hour cockpit clock.
For the plane itself.
Right, with dual time capabilities. Then, in 1935, they introduced a pilot's watch, featuring an inner rotating bezel, another first for that kind of watch.
And you could use that for?
It could be used to track elapsed time or, crucially, a second time zone.
Okay.
And we shouldn't forget the 1937 cockpit clock, which had a rotating external bezel with a triangular pointer.
That triangular pointer, hang on, that sounds familiar.
It should. That very design, the rotating external bezel with that distinct pointer, it's directly related to the watches Longines supplied the Czechoslovakian Air Force back in the 1930s. And if that resonates, it's because that design DNA is still present in Longines' current pilot Majetek collection.
Right, the Majetek. Fascinating to see those design elements reappear throughout their history.
It really is.
Okay, so we're seeing these early advancements in dual timekeeping. Then we get to 1925 and this Zulu time wristwatch. This sounds like a pivotal moment. What made this particular watch so important?
Well, the 1925 Longines Zulu Time wristwatch is a landmark piece because it was the very first wristwatch to display both local time and a second reference time zone on a single dial.
The first one.
Yes. This was a significant leap forward in portable timekeeping for anyone who needed to coordinate across geographical boundaries. Think of Zulu time as the universal language of aviation,
Right.
ensuring everyone from air traffic control to pilots are on the same temporal page, preventing, potentially catastrophic misunderstandings.
Zulu time itself. It's
Yeah.
more than just a cool name then.
Exactly. Zulu time refers to the time at the prime meridian, which passes through Greenwich in England.
Okay, GMT.
Right. You might also know it as Greenwich Mean Time, GMT, or more technically, Coordinated Universal Time, UTC.
Gotcha.
In military aviation, having a single universal time standard like Zulu time is absolutely vital for seamless coordination, precise navigation, and just clear communication across different locations and time zones.
Makes sense. It eliminates any confusion that could arise from local time differences. That makes perfect sense for pilots who need to be on the exact same timeline. So what did this groundbreaking 1925 watch actually look like?
For its era, it was quite unique. It had a square case,
Square.
a dial with two scales, likely for hours and perhaps minutes, or another related measurement. And crucially, a fourth central hand dedicated to indicating the second time zone, Zulu time.
A fourth hand. Right.
And if you look at historical photos, you can even spot a small flag printed just below the Longines name on the dial.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a clear indication of its Zulu time designation.
A square case with a fourth hand. That's a pretty bold design for the 1920s, and that little flag is a fantastic historical detail.
It really is.
So let's fast forward almost 100 years to the present day and the Spirit Zulu Time 1925 edition. It sounds like this new watch directly pays tribute to that original.
Absolutely. The Longines Spirit Zulu Time collection, which launched back in 2022, has already, garnered a lot of praise.
I've seen them around, yeah.
This new 1925 edition is a direct homage, celebrating the 100th anniversary of that pioneering wristwatch. It takes everything that enthusiasts appreciate about the Spirit Zulu Time and adds some very special commemorative elements.
All right, let's get into the details of the modern watch itself. What are we looking at? Size, materials?
Okay, the 1925 edition comes in a very wearable 39mm stainless steel case.
39mm, that's a good size.
Yeah, with a height of 13.25mm. It features a bidirectional rotating bezel, and this is a real standout feature because the insert is capped with 18K rose gold.
Rose gold, nice.
And it has the 24-hour scale for the GMT function directly engraved into it. The edge of the bezel has a nice textured knurled finish, and the rotation feels really firm and precise in both directions.
Good feedback stops accidental changes.
Exactly.
What about the rest of the case finish?
The majority of the case has a brushed finish, which gives it that classic tool watch look. But there are also polished bevels along the edges, which provide a subtle but noticeable visual contrast. It has sapphire crystals on both the front and the back.
Front and back, okay.
And the screw-down crown contributes to a solid 100-meter water resistance.
So it's definitely robust enough for daily wear, even some water activities. You don't have to worry about splashes or even a swim.
Pretty much, yeah.
So it's both elegant and practical. Now, the dial is where all the information comes together. What's the layout like there?
The dial is a matte black, which offers excellent contrast, makes it very easy to read.
Good legibility.
Definitely. It features applied hour markers and a gold-colored minute track around the outer edge. Interestingly, there are these recessed diamond-shaped markers that visually connect the hour markers to the minute track.
Ah, I see that. And the date.
The date window is located neatly at the 6 o'clock position.
Okay. And the hands. They're such a key part of a watch's character.
For sure. The hour and minute hands have a classic sword shape, and the seconds hand has a distinctive arrow tip.
Right.
The GMT hand is particularly noticeable, with a large, prominent triangular tip and a black stem, making it very easy to distinguish at a glance.
Stands out.
And importantly, all the hands and the applied hour markers are treated with superluminova.
Good lume is essential.
Ensures excellent visibility, even in low-light conditions, so no more struggling to read the time in the dark.
Excellent. And I noticed Zulu time and chronometer printed on the dial, along with 5 applied stars. What do those signify?
Right. So the Zulu time script directly acknowledges the watch's ability to track that crucial aviation time zone.
Makes sense.
The chronometer designation means that the movement has undergone rigorous testing by an independent authority, COSC, to ensure its accuracy.
So it's certified accurate.
Exactly. As for the 5 applied stars, these are a historical reference to Longines's pilot watch heritage. They often use them in their past aviation-related timepieces to indicate, a certain level of quality and precision.
So these aren't just random design elements, they're rooted in the brand's history.
That's right.
Now let's talk about what's powering this watch. What's inside? The movement.
The Spirit Zulu Time 1925 edition uses the Longines caliber L844.4 movement. It's produced by ETA, specifically for Longines. They're both part of the Swatch Group.
Okay.
It operates at a frequency of 25,200 vibrations per hour. which is a bit unusual but efficient.
And the power reserve.
Provides a very useful power reserve of approximately 72 hours.
3 days. That's almost a full weekend off the wrist without it stopping.
Yeah, it's really practical.
And you mentioned it's a flyer GMT movement. What's the benefit of that? Why is that important?
This is a really key feature, especially for anyone who travels across time zones.
Like me.
Right. A flyer GMT movement allows you to independently adjust the local hour hand, the main hour hand, in 1 hour jumps using the crown.
Mm-hmm.
And crucially, it does this without stopping the seconds hand or affecting the GMT hand.
So the GMT hand just keeps tracking home time.
Exactly. It makes setting the watch when you arrive in a new time zone incredibly quick and convenient. It's a significant advantage over older, let's call them collar GMTs, where adjusting the local time could be fiddlier.
Right, you'd have to reset everything sometimes.
So unlike those older GMTs, this modern movement really prioritizes the traveler's experience, making time zone hopping pretty seamless.
Ah, that makes perfect sense for someone constantly moving between time zones. Are there any special touches on the movement itself for this anniversary edition, given the occasion?
Yes, definitely. To commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Zulu Time designation, the rotor of the movement has a gold PVD coating.
Ah, matching the bezel touches.
Nicely complements the rose gold on the bezel, yeah. It also features an engraving of a partial world map highlighting the prime meridian.
Cool detail.
Additionally, the sapphire crystal case back itself is engraved with 1925-2025 to mark this special occasion.
Those are thoughtful, subtle nods to its history. I like that. What about how it feels on the wrist? What kind of straps or bracelets does it come with?
The Longines Spirit Zulu Time 1925 edition offers good versatility here. It comes with both a black NATO-style strap, which has a pin buckle,
Okay, the NATO.
and a stainless steel bracelet with a secure folding clasp.
So you get both options.
Yeah. The bracelet features polished edges on the links, adding a little touch of refinement, and it has a convenient quick-release system.
Oh, quick release is always nice. Easy swapping.
Makes it really easy to swap between the strap and the bracelet without needing any tools.
How about adjusting the fit of the bracelet? Any micro adjust?
Well, the folding clasp on the bracelet does have several positions for adjusting the length, which is helpful.
Okay.
However, it's worth noting that it doesn't include a dedicated micro-adjustability system, like some sort of on-the-fly adjustment. Some watch enthusiasts might prefer that for achieving that absolutely perfect fit.
Right, that's something some people look for. Okay, so we've covered the history, the design, the mechanics. What's your overall impression of the Spirit Zulu Time 1925 edition? And what about its value proposition?
Overall, I think it's a very welcome addition to the Spirit Zulu Time lineup. The more compact 39mm case size is great, makes it appealing to a wider range of wrist sizes.
Yeah, 39 is kind of a sweet spot.
And the watch feels incredibly solid and well made. The level of fit and finish is excellent. And the considered details, like the rose gold bezel and the commemorative engravings, they effectively celebrate a century of Longines' connection to Zulu Time without being, overly flashy.
Tasteful.
Exactly. With a retail price of EUR 4,500.
Okay.
It is priced higher than the standard steel models, but that reflects the inclusion of the additional strap, the special case back, and of course the rose gold element on the bezel.
So you're getting value for the premium.
I think so. It really represents a significant piece of Longines' history in a very wearable and attractive modern package.
So it sounds like a fitting tribute to a century of Zulu Time and a really strong GMT option for today's global travelers. It's amazing when you think about it how vital standardized time became with the rise of aviation and international travel.
Absolutely.
And how companies like Longines were right there at the forefront of that development.
It truly is. And it makes you think, doesn't it? Now that we can track time across the world so effortlessly, how the very concept of time zones has shaped not just travel,
Right.
but also global commerce, communication, even our personal connections across continents. It's kind of this fundamental framework that underpins so much of our modern world, something we often take for granted.
That's a fascinating point to consider, how much relies on us all agreeing what time it is everywhere. Well, thanks for taking that deep dive with us.
My pleasure.
Until our next exploration.